I know you want to see me go home alone. I'm done waiting. I know you want to see me go home alone. I'm done waiting. And this hurts so bad I can't breathe on my own.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be
Yo, yo, yo. It is Thursday, November the 11th, 2016. Welcome to the No PC show. It's probably going to be a little short tonight, but because I'm tired of talking about Trump, but there's just a lot that's going on that's really disturbing to me when it comes to this man and what's going on in the political circles, and I really could care less on what people feel. This is my opinion. I don't like what I'm seeing out here with everybody trying to normalize the nonsense that we went through with this candidate and how he was elected president, and how now they're talking about, oh, we have to stand together with this man, and he's the president and we have to work. They didn't even expect to win. They didn't have no big celebration or anything planned, you know. But they won, and now they're all running around like dogs over a carcass trying to see where they fit in. Let me share this with you so we can kick the show in. It's just a little clip of our favorite person, right?
People are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people? Well, the polls. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction. And they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. Excuse me. Sit down. You weren't called. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Go ahead. No, you don't. You haven't been called. Go back to Univision. Go ahead. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Now Trump's attack on McCain, his party's 2008 nominee, and a Vietnam veteran who spent more than 5 years in a POW camp, has given them an opening to go after him.
Donald, you've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
For the record, it was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I'm sure.
Certainly, I don't have a lot of respect for Megyn Kelly. She's a lightweight. And, she came out there reading her little script and trying to, be tough and be sharp. And when you meet her, you realize she's not very tough and she's not very sharp. She's Zippo.
Well, let's talk about Megyn Kelly because you brought her up. She did pushed a lot of people. But what is it with you and Megyn Kelly?
Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. She gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. But she was, in my opinion,
That's just a little bit. I mean, we all watched it, so we really don't have to go back over it anymore. And then people say, well, he's not a racist, he's not a sexist. I wish Obama would have said, I can shoot somebody down in the street and I wouldn't lose a vote. He was held up to such ridicule. They were hoping to find a mistress. They made him change churches because of the speech of Jeremiah Wright and how politically black he was. So he came to our church, which was the Apostolic Church of God with Bishop Arthur M. Brazier, who was upstanding in the community and provided the perfect image on what was acceptable. And you didn't have to go far for the Obamas to show dignified black people, career-minded, educated, upward bound. Yet this is the same man that was asking for his birth certificate. The same man that was making comment after comment after comment. And now nobody wants to check him on this bull. And that's very disturbing to me. You got candidates. He talked about their wives, their kids, their mothers, their fathers. I think with Cruz, he tried to implement Cruz's father having something to do with the assassination of Bobby Kennedy. Mitt Romney, basically called this guy the devil incarnation. Yet you got all these people running now to have meetings with this man, given that we got to reach across the aisle speech. And no, we're not racist. We're not really standing against what he's saying. We're just saying, no, we're just saying we're going to make this money and do what we got to do and see where this is going to benefit us from. It's like looking at a whole bunch of criminals planning a robbery of America. They're already throwing out craziness. They are already talking, let's raise the interest rates. This is gonna free up the money. They ain't gonna free up the money for me and you. They increase the interest rates. That means we pay more. So if the rich is getting a 35% tax cut, how is that helping us? It's not helping us. Trump supposedly has this 10-point plan that he put out here, which is just a bunch of crap. But his plan for the urban black, and this is another thing, he groups all the blacks into one group. He doesn't realize the difference in how many different types of blacks we have in America. And we not all living in neighborhoods where people are getting shot down, where there's no businesses. But his mentality, his thinking groups us into this, and then he's like, I'm offering you something. So you go and you look at Donald Trump's got this 10-point plan, and I've had other friends say, oh yeah, check out his plan. So I go out and check out his plan. I'm like, what are you making a big fuss over? Because there's only 2 things on this list out of his 10-point plan that even have anything to do with black people. And there's no conditions or any plan whatsoever. One of those is to support historically black colleges. But he doesn't tell you how he's going to support these colleges. I don't believe him. You can believe him if you want to. The funny thing about this list is, how come the 35% tax break is included under the bill for the black people? Doesn't make any sense, because your 35% tax break for corporations isn't going to help us at all. So why is it even on the list? We don't want more affordable schools. We're not going to get no reparations. Give us some free school. Safer communities. How you going to make them safe? Oh, you are with the NRA, and you are going to increase the stop and frisk, which is going to help the prison for profit of this country. So maybe you do have a plan. Maybe you do have a plan. That, as you go down this list, you're like, none of this is saying anything for helping black people. But yet this is your 10-point plan, and then you start with the whole immigration thing, which I tell everybody, that's, now companies don't have to worry about meeting that minority quota. They just throw any immigrant in there, and off we go. It's this one where he's going to bring back more jobs. Number 6, we will stop the massive chronic trade deficit that has emptied out our jobs. We won't let our jobs be stolen from us anymore. Warren Buffett was talking about Trump today and his non-release of his tax forms, and we'll probably never see him, because the same things he's talking about, jobs going overseas and stuff like that, he's got companies overseas making his products. America barely makes anything. He's talking about putting a tariff tax on Mexico and other countries that want to import stuff into the United States. Well, then they'll do the same thing with us exporting to them. So you want to start a game where it's going to be worse for us, because pretty much everything we buy is coming from someplace else. So he made a lot of promises that he's probably not going to get to keep. There's no transparency with this guy. Our show is called the No PC Show, so I've been doing the No PC Show for over a year, but guaranteed anything I say would be just outrageous because I'm not a rich white man. But I guess if you're a rich white man, you can pretty much say what you want to say. Pretty much on the side of ridiculousness. Now we're watching Obama be all tight-jawed. You can see the distress in this man's face. One, I can't believe the American people elected this guy. And two, I can't believe I have to stand here and give the keys to the country to this man. Now, all you Trump supporters can say what you want. It is what it is. You've elected the least qualified person probably on the planet. The most dishonest person. His attitude is not presidential. I don't see any diplomatic side to him. But yet you all want to stand out here and maybe he's not a racist. I don't even have a problem with racists. If you're a racist, you're just a racist. Just be out front with it. And that's what he stirred up the racists of America. So all these nationalists and these people like Steve Barron and everybody that run the Bright page and put all this white America, we're in control again, crap all over the web pages, and nobody calls them on their crap. Everybody wants to sit around like it's normal now. You're watching CNN and all these other shows, all these little white faces smile like, oh yeah, well, we're going to get it together. We're going to straighten it out. Don't worry. You guys just got to reach across the aisle and be ready to work. But these are the same people that when Obama was elected, sat right on TV and said, we're not going to work with this man. These are the same people that have been putting off voting for a Supreme Court justice going against the Constitution, where Obama can present someone for that position and a vote should be taken. They said we're not going to do it. And they didn't do it. So now this man is going to have an opportunity to select a Supreme Court justice. Where's the justice in all this? And don't give me that change talk crap. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of change. And I want everybody to understand this. We're not giving a pass to Trump or anybody else with the conduct. If you're okay with the conduct and you got kids or girls or whatever, then line them up so they can get their coochie grabbed. You got foreign friends, line them up so they can hear some deportation talk. We're not going to normalize this. I don't care what people say. When it comes to power, I already understand. It doesn't make a difference. As long as I get the power, I get to do what I want to do. And then you just fall in line. That's the whole ridiculousness of this. And it's irritating. And all those people, Bernie supporters that decide to sit your little monkey butts at home, you shouldn't be out there protesting. Because then you become part of the problem. And I don't think Bernie or any of these other people that said, well, the politician on this side were doing this, the politician on this side were doing this. Yeah. But Obama was still able, with all that opposition, he inherited the worst economy since Roosevelt back in the 30s with the Depression and brought it to where it is today. And you let this man get on TV and say the economy was doing no better. And you believed him. Who's sick? Is he sick or is America sick? Yeah, Hillary got more of the popular votes or whatever. She didn't get out and touch enough people. But he went out with a divisional type of language and incited all types of hate groups and nationalists, Klansmen, to a whole new level. And he hasn't come out and made a definitive statement. He hasn't come out and said, look, I'm the president. I don't support any of this bull crap that you're doing. I want it to stop. We're a country. We're going to make it together. He's not reassuring anybody. He's trying to go down his list and figure out a way that I can get rid of this Obamacare. Now he realizes he can't get rid of it. According to Warren Buffett, he's going to realize a whole bunch of stuff. And according to Obama, he's going to realize a whole bunch of stuff. You can talk the talk, but now you're going to have to walk the walk. And you're surrounding yourself with all these good old boys and whoever else you can squeeze in there. Giuliani and trying to be Secretary of State. And, you know, it's just a madhouse. I'm going to bring the economy to a 4% growth. Talking to financial experts, that's way far in between. We've been experiencing a 2% increase since Obama got us out of this mess. And according to the experts, that's great. 4%, it had to be an anomaly, and it may spike up for a moment, but it's probably not going to hold. You raising the interest rates is not going to trickle down to how's that trickling down to us with all our interest payments, and then everything's going up. That's more money in the rich man's pocket. We want to see Trump's taxes. How about that? You cried and cried for the emails. Don't say nothing else about an email or an investigation or a pardon. People are talking about a pardon Hillary. I said she hasn't been charged with anything. She can get right in that line with America, because they've been charged with everything and did some of the most heinous crimes in the world, yet nobody holds them accountable. And that's why this man is in office, because nobody is willing to hold this man accountable, and they're willing to disregard the whole speech and everything. But the problem is, everything always hits black people worse than it hits everybody else. Where are our demands? Instead of him giving us this 10-point system, where are our demands? Where's the leadership that's asking for what we want? Stop telling us what you want to offer us and look at what we want. That's the difference between blacks and every other group, the LGBT and all that. Oh, we want this. We demand it. And they got it. It's a shame. It seems like we can't come together since the boycott years ago with the bus system. When the last time we had some other type of unity where we said, you know, let's find out every property that Trump owns, every company he owns or he's associated with, and let's stop messing with him, period. How about that? He won't give a damn because he got money. Now he got power. You ever seen somebody that's a fool and then somebody gives him a gun? Now he's a bigger fool. And he's doing more crazier stuff now that he's got the gun. That's what America has done here. And there's no convincing me that this man was the best choice. America's really got to look at itself and try to figure out what's going on here, because so many people are just sitting around in total shock. But the country will continue to go on. I don't think the man would push the button. At least he came on TV today and said, I have the codes, but I would never use those codes unless I had to. I don't know. I've never heard a president say it. I guess it's just taken for granted that if it had to happen, it would happen. But we're talking about nuclear weapons. We're not talking about firecrackers, Scud missiles. we're talking about the destruction of the planet. And the funny thing, we're always talking about change and moving ahead, but we're always still talking about the same topics. Baldwin said something, and it's funny, he said it back in like 1960, 61, 62, somewhere around there. And it holds the same for the things that are going on now, for the mentality that's going on now in America with politicians, white folks, the behavior, the immorality, and how they expect you to suck it up, hold out your hand, let's work together. I know I just punched you in the face. I know I just raped your child. Forget all about that. That's in the past talk. We're talking about working together now. Yes, I am the devil, but, forget that. Work with me. And we're seeing this on TV day after day after day. It's really insulting. And I feel disgusted with every person that did stand up and say something against this man. But now you got to play politics and you got to run over here and kiss the ring. It's disgusting. Love, peace. So we out of here.
That one is a little bit colored and a little bit white. And not only in physical terms, but in the head and in the heart. And there are days, this is one of them, when you wonder what your role is in this country and what your future is in it. How precisely you're going to reconcile yourself to your situation here, and how you're going to communicate to the vast, heedless, unthinking, cruel white majority that you are here. I'm terrified at the moral apathy, the death of the heart, which is happening in my country. These people have deluded themselves for so long that they really don't think I'm human. I base this on their conduct, not on what they say. And this means that they have become, in themselves, moral monsters.
Oh, Jim, I can see.
It's a terrible indictment.
Yes.
I mean every word I say. It was a great shock to me. I want to say this on the air. The Attorney General did not know.
You mean the Attorney General of the United States?
Mr. Robert Kennedy. Didn't know that I would have trouble convincing my nephew to go to Cuba, for example, to liberate the Cubans in defense of a government which now says it is doing everything it can do, which cannot liberate me. Now, there are 20 million people in this country, and you can't put them all in jail. I know how my nephew feels. I know how I feel. I know how the cats in the barbershop feel. A boy last week who was 16 in San Francisco told me on television, thank God we got him to talk, maybe somebody will start to listen. He said, I got no country, I've got no flag. Now he's only 16 years old. And I couldn't say you do. I don't have any evidence to prove that he does. They were tearing down his house because San Francisco is engaging, as most northern cities now are engaged, in something called urban renewal, which means moving the Negroes out. It means Negro removal. That is what it means. And the federal government is an accomplice to this fact. Now we're talking about human beings. There's not such a thing as a monolithic wall or, you know, some abstraction called the Negro problem. These Negro boys and girls who at 16 and 17 don't believe the country means anything that it says and don't feel they have any place here on the basis of the performance of the entire country.
So?
I don't think, put it as simply as I can, and without trying now to investigate whatever the motives of any given Muslim leader may be, it is the only movement in the country which we can call grassroots. I hate to say that, but it's true. Because it is only, when Malcolm talks, or one of the Muslim ministers talk, they articulate for all the Negro people who hear them, who listen to them, they articulate their suffering. The suffering which has been in this country so long denied. That's Malcolm's great authority over any of his audiences. He corroborates their reality. He tells them that they really exist, you know?
Jim, do you think that this